Hey internet, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Jongravesshow Show, talking to everybody about Monster Musume this week. And picking up from where we left off last week, we finally know who D is. In this case, it's Lala, the Doulahan, who pretty much was sort of looking at Kimihito and sort of asking the question of why is it that he's in the house with all these different like women and he's not dying, or at least like at the very least is like all of these women over here, man, like that they push him to death, or at least like that, or you know, it's like if they fuck his body up and that like he goes through all these like trials and shit. And pretty much we saw that in this episode, even though it was a bit exaggerated a little bit more in this episode, you know, especially when it went from Poppy trying to help him, then then flying 2 holes and crashing into a sign, and then Sue almost drowning him, to fucking Saria, like of him falling off Saria's saddle, and then Meryl going crazy to try and drown him underneath the water while also trying to have sex with him. Even fucking Mia, when like, man, she tried to help him, she still crushed his fucking body. And I do like Kimihito's thing of just saying like, well, I've gotten used to it. It's no big deal. I mean, all of you need me, and I'm not fated to die. So, because if I was, then I would have been dead a long time ago. So, you know, it really doesn't work out like that. And as it turns out, is that none of that was actually there. It's just Lala just thought that it was strange that he was alive after being with these monster girls who do damage him up on like a daily basis. And it's something that I really did it was really interesting to sort of see. Lo and behold, though, the only reason why Kimihito, why he actually sort of figured out, though, is because he was a lot like that when he was back in high school. You know, guy, man, who wears an eye patch, wears colored contacts, ties up his arms and whatnot, dyes his hair, but wait, I really wouldn't say he dyed his hair black, but he was a bit more dramatic than what he is now, so it's pretty mellow. And in the second half of the episode, it was a bit of Kimihito and a Sue episode in the later half of that, because the first half was him trying to balance the budgets and saying that ever since Lala came in, you know, the food balance has really been getting a little bad. But at the same time, though, is that you do get to see how Doulahans eat. They just pour it down her neck hole, and that's just how Lala eats. It's actually pretty crazy. It's pretty interesting. You know, you don't really got to worry about taste at that point. Just pour the food in and you're good. But you know, the whole episode, it gets really nice of them going around trying to go to this market, which that I will give the market this, though, is that they are very cautious of their customers, of saying that they don't want to sell fish because of their mermaids around. Don't be selling the fish meat. Don't be it's like keep all of the chicken away. However, since Sue is sort of like Sue is technically made of liquid, so really they can't say you know, we have to hide all of the water and all of the drinks, you know, which really didn't happen, but you know, they did cover that up pretty early. And it was really nice just to actually sort of see people in that area be very, very, very accepting of them, because normally for a series that tackles something like this, the outside people who see that, they would really be against monster girls and whatnot, especially since, you know, earlier on, that one guy who still hasn't learned his damn lesson, man, from fucking speeding in his truck, obviously, you know, it's like, that's like our main source of like society outside of their house and Miss Smith, of course. But, you know, as it's a Kimihito and Sue thing, Sue is really starting to warm up to Kimihito, talking to him more and not trying to just imitate. She's actually getting way more open and whatnot. And also she even went on to actually talk to a few other people to sort of go out and get like good food for everybody, to go out and find like plants with the help of Key. Even though Key, she couldn't necessarily tell which plants were poisonous or not. She just keeps the forest up. that's another ability that Sue has. Sue is like the best one there. I mean, like, she can't be hurt. She's very lovable. She's very huggable. And honestly, once, man, like, man, she learns to not drown people in her body, just like how, man, she has. She's pretty handy. You know, except for when there's poison in her system, she gets a bit blunt. you know, instead of calling the other girls like by their name, she calls them straight up freeloaders. And but like, even though all that food that Kimihito acquired, he had to cook it up that same night to feed all the girls of his house and also feed the Mon members and also Miss Smith. And when he was dreading it, he didn't want to say anything about it. Of course, Sue came out and said, yeah, man, he's worried because of the freeloaders or whatnot, But I found it crazy, though, that I don't think that Smith actually told him that since he does have all those monster girls there, is that they will actually reimburse him for all of the food in which that they eat. I don't think she ever told him that. But all in all, though, this was a very nice episode, and it's something that I really did sort of like. I do want to see more of this in the future. Honestly, this is one of those series that is just straight to the point of giving me more of what I want. Silly antics, monster girls, and a guy who's semi-relatable, who's actually pretty nice, and who isn't all that bad. But that is what I gotta say about that. Please tell me what do you think about this down there in the comment section. I'll catch you guys on the next Jongravesshow. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games. I'm out.